Good to be back today. Last week being spring break, always a huge concern about what's going to be the energy level, what's going to be the focus, what's the retention of the practices that we executed prior to spring break. So just off the naked eye, pleased with where we're at right now. We had 118 snaps from scrimmage today, so it was a heavy work day for us. We used Monday and Tuesday kind of to knock the rust off a little bit, get them back into football mode, and I was excited about it. We got a busy 2.5 weeks now with the clinic this weekend, practice on Friday, Saturday. We turn right around and go Monday again. We got a lot of football ahead of us still, but excited. I thought offensively we had a really good day today. I thought both Jaden and Christian had a really nice job. I thought our receivers are starting to elevate their level of play, and it's exciting because what we do defensively is extremely challenging. And for our offense to be able to, again, as I challenged them afterwards, for us to be able to compete against our offense and defense here at practice every day, we got to utilize that, take advantage of it, because we're getting to see a lot of good stuff.
Speaking of the coaches clinic, is this the first year you guys are taking that step of reaching out to the community coaches?
Yeah, this is something I've done before. Of course, never here in the Central Valley, but we made a concerted effort. We called all 300 and some schools in the Central Valley, individually inviting them all. I think our number right now is sitting at around 350 plus attendees for this weekend. We're partnering with Table Mountain, who's done a tremendous job of allowing us to use their convention facilities and have been an unbelievable host for this event. So we're excited about pulling it off, and hopefully it'll only get better and better as the years start to, pass.
Are you excited because of the recruiting aspect of it, or because of something else?
Well, I think the recruiting aspect, again, you're going to have 350 high school coaches there. It's impossible for me to get out to every single high school in the Central Valley just because the time allowed on the road for head coach is limited to begin with per NCAA rules, but this gives me kind of a one-stop shop where I get to connect with them all. We get to discuss kind of our philosophy as a program, where we want to go, why we're doing things, get to have them come to practice, get to see the vibe, the energy that we have here at Fresno State, and why we think we're a program on the move.
Who do you know has improved the most so far this year?
In regards to just in general?
From last year to this year.
Oh boy, you're asking me that's a loaded question right there. I think there's so many guys like Julius Gillick, number 24, running back. I think anytime a young player comes in, there's a ton of growth that's going to be required. Just one, to handle the rigors of college, but now to throw on the demands of being a student athlete. He's done a tremendous job. A lot of our receivers, Harold Duvall has done a nice job. I'm trying to figure, Jaden Mandel has been really good. A ton of improvement. I mean, as a guy who was banged up, we tried to keep that injury kind of quiet for a long time just to try to eliminate our opponents, knowing that we were thin at the quarterback position. But he's really come back strong and has spent a lot of time. Him and Christian has spent a lot of time in the meeting room. Braden Walton has really worked hard at his health. He looks great. 315 pounds. He's lighter, stronger than he's ever been. Eddie Fanua's lost some weight. He's leaned up. He's gained strength. Our strength and conditioning program's done a really good job. As you guys have seen, we're as big as we've been in the short time that I've been here at Fresno State.
What can you do offensively with play calling with Martin and Mandel as your quarterbacks?
Say that one more time. Sorry.
How are you play calling on offense maybe different with Mandel and Martin as your quarterbacks?
Well, I think this year we're going to try to incorporate a little bit of design quarterback run game into our game plan. And if that's 5, 6, 7 times a game, where there's a read involved, where we don't have to block someone, we can equate numbers in the box. Hopefully both of them give us that opportunity or maybe advantage during the course of a game. But at least to have the ability to force teams to have to prepare for it.
Coach, we're supposed to talk to Bresky today. What do you like that he's done with the linebacker group so far this spring?
Well, you look at the depth that they have right now. You look at, one of the things that, and you guys saw it at practice today, that I think we do that's unique is we two-spot. There's times during the day where we have multiple huddles going on at a time. Nobody's standing around. Titus Kajabi was a young man that was on the two field a year ago, and even in fall camp, and then ended up playing 600 snaps for us. Well, there's coaching, there's development, there's growth, not only from Coach Bresky, but also our players got to be willing to do that as well. Any rep is a valuable rep at practice. When we two-spot like that or double rep, the only people I challenge are the coaches because they got to watch it all. And so today there's 150 to 160 snaps that we got to get inside and make sure we watch so we can evaluate, teach off of, and get ready for Friday.
Coach, do you feel an energy change when you practice here in the stadium with the guys?
Oh, a little bit. I think part of it was just being back from spring break. And for the last 2 days, we've been challenging them. We got a race to maturity. We can't miss opportunities, and this was an opportunity for us to get better. And if we can continue to incrementally get better every day, we'll have an opportunity to be a solid football team.
Coach, how different are these first few days of spring compared to last year, and how could that translate to your team in the
Well,
fall?
there's a higher level of organization because everyone's been through it before. All the verbiage, all the terminology is consistent with what it was last year. And I think there's a standard of operating procedures that we've established here. Our players, the way the locker room looks, the way they get in the weight room, the commitment to their health and well-being, their nutrition. There's a lot of differences right now. A lot of things that people just in the public wouldn't necessarily see. You got to be inside the program to really recognize.
Looks like you may have suffered one significant injury. Is there anything new on the injury front so far?
I think we just had an ankle, if that's what you're referring to. I think we'll be back here in a couple of days. He was battling with it prior, so it's good to get a couple snaps out of him. And, safety pays. We'll get him. Braylon Henderson.
Asking about Micah Mosley.
Oh, yeah, Micah had a lower leg injury that happened late last week on Friday.
Gotcha.
So,
Thank you.
Sorry about that.